Welcome to the Green Boutique here at Cannabis 2023. I'm Dave Barton, and we are in probably what appears to be one of the classiest social clubs we've ever been to. And we've just bought a bunch of stuff because we can. Check it out. We're going to go and talk to some cool people, hang out and smoke some weed. But tell us about yourself, Brian. What you're doing, you do recruitment stuff for the cannabis industry in the good old US of A, correct, sir?
Yeah, that's right. So my wife and I launched a firm about 5.5 years ago to recruit leaders into the cannabis industry. Now we recruit leaders around within the cannabis industry. We dabble in psychedelics,
actual double. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, use your imagination. Yeah, so my first time in Spain, first time Barcelona, first time Cannabis, first time hanging with you. A lot of firsts here. Feels good.
Totally, man. So how long are you in town for, and what are your Barcelona kind of bucket list kind of must-dos whilst you're here?
So we got invited to present at ICBC. So that was big bucket list was not to screw up my panel conversation yesterday. That went well. I learned a lot. So I take a lot of heat for not really seeing the sites. I hope to see some, but it was mostly engaged with the European, the outside U.S. cannabis community as much as possible. So I'm just going wherever they are so I can learn and make new friends.
Absolutely. So you think there's real potential? I guess you're sort of recruiting at the high end, sort of executive. Do you think? Are we kind of there in Europe? Yeah, for that kind of thing yet? Do you reckon?
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like there's a lot of need for cultivation, facilities management, business development, corporate development type roles, more than, CFO, head of legal, and other roles that we fill stateside for, companies that are more mature and of scale. So I don't really see that here just yet. That was one of the more unfortunate learnings yesterday, but hey, it is what it is for now.
Yeah, totally, man. So, absolutely. Well, let's get involved in some of this. We got some. I don't know. We bought a bunch of pre-rolls, bunch of. I think I said. What you got there? You got
Who's going to get me through the night? I'm trying to figure out. Is one going to put me down or?
I don't know. I said mostly sativas. So
oh well.
Hopefully we should be going like the clappers, up and up.
Yeah, you're speaking my language now. That's a comfy couch, and I got a long night. So.
Good man. Well, it's so cool to chat with you. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks, man. Boom. Messieurs from Leafy, Kevin and Liam, how are you doing, guys? How's things shaking us? It's early days, isn't it, for Cannabis right now?
Yes. It was interesting. It's my first time. So
is it?
When we launched Leafy, we came over basically 2020. We were in Barcelona just as COVID took hold. And we watched basically Barcelona just shut down. Obviously, Cannabis was cancelled, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were on like one of the last flights out of the UK, out of Spain to the UK. It was the best thing was, so obviously the hysteria was kind of wild, and we were in the airport. And there was people wearing like marigolds. I was like, just remember being in the airport, like, how's that going to protect you from anything? And then last year I was in the US. Kev came with Lottie, who used to work with us. So this is my first time at Cannabis, right? So it's pretty wild. I love it. I think it's amazing celebration of the plant. But it's hot. Obviously, it's nice and toasty warm, and obviously it's really busy. Kind of stumbling into stoned people all day is
insane. I love how everyone's just like walking around smoking and just being like, I don't give a shit, man. It's quite refreshing in a weird way.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
being able to go to like Bickle's stall and like they're literally demoing volcanoes right there for people.
I did not get to Stalls and Bickle yet, but I need to.
Do it.
Do you know what? Every time I go to a show, I go and see their marketing people, and they just hide. It's like, get this guy away from me, because they just do not want to speak with me, because I just keep asking all sorts of awkward questions. And then I go and ask if I can speak to Jurgen Bickle.
No, he's there, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he's a meet and greet with him.
We're not picking up Kevin.
So there's a meet and greet with him this week or tomorrow, I think it is. So
a meet and greet with Jurgen Bickle. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm quite into that. I need to. So what's your hit list? What are you doing whilst you're here? What's the other than Cannabis? You checking out the
lots of tapas as usual.
Yeah. Lots of food. You can't come to Barcelona and not eat food. It's kind of one of my favourite places still trying to kind of eye up a move here.
Oh, really?
Having lived in
cool.
Spain before, so yeah, I love it. I think it's a great place. Like, I'm here again in a few weeks. So
We went to Strain Hunters last night, and it was like, this is the difference between going to a SU bar and like coming to like a place where you know, like this. It's just a mile of difference.
what was the one we went to with the French guys from Third Eye Cannabinoids? Dank Grass Club or something. It's very much. It kind of reminds me of like a sort of student union-y, but like if just some mates got together. It kind of reminded me of like when you were a kid and you all went and smoked in someone's garage.
It was a really cool place.
It was. It had a really cool vibe. They had some really nice music on, but yeah, in comparison to this, where it's a bit more swanky, a bit more upmarket.
It's just, I feel desperately underdressed, but you know, that's I just do for most occasions generally. So I just lean into it nowadays.
So this is what I'm talking about. Like, that hasn't filled the split. Okay, I'm going to have to put some more in at that end because that would just be a very thin, crappy split.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so if you smoke gram splits, be prepared to bring some money.
I don't know, I've been struggling to get with the spliffage because I'm so used to the.
Hey, do you want a bit of cannabis industry?
Oh,
So
I need some.
I run what I would consider to be the best cannabis magazine in the UK.
You know, it's pretty good. Yeah.
I've never smoked spliff. I don't know how to skin up.
You don't have to skin out.
No, never. So when we were younger, and obviously it was kind of normal for people to put tobacco into spliffs, I've never smoked tobacco in my life.
Really?
So when everyone was smoking spliffs, I was like, bongs it is. So I just started straight off as bongs, and then obviously I've kind of just always bypassed that part of the...
Were you one of those kids that were like, creating bongs out of all kinds of shit that you could find around the house?
me and Kirky, my mate Kirky, hi Kirky if you're watching, we made one out, we went to kind of like a home store, like kind of a big cookie jar with a wooden lid. And we spent ages like drilling it, putting copper pipe in, building like a, kind of, and because it was like, I don't know, maybe like 4 litres of water. It was impossible, so we just spent hours building it, and then we actually went to suck it through. It was just like, it's impossible. Because we were trying to pull air through like 4 kilos of water. And
I had a friend whose dad was a tennis coach, and he used to get those like cans of tennis balls, just to be like, once the cans were done with, he just like chipping in the side of it, and just like sticking some hose pipe in it.
I think the best one ever was doing 5 litre water bottle buckets out of a pool in a villa in Ibiza.
Oh,
and we had like 20 people staying in the villa, and everyone. So the guy who owned the villa was like a really cool German artist, and every time we used to stay there, there'd always just be like some wine, some weed, like welcoming us. And we did the buckets and knocked everyone out like one by one. It was great.
I'm just going to have to backtrack and ask, how do you get to know a German artist that has, weed on tap that you can go and stay in his villa in Ibiza?
So we were in that kind of like end of 90s, early 2000s glory area of Ibiza, and basically all of our mates, we all kind of went and worked out there for the season. And then, so as we got a little bit older,
kind of type stuff.
Yeah, so as we got a bit older, we like wanted to stay out of the, I say a bit older, we were like 25, and it was my partner Tilly, she just typed into Google unusual or villa in Ibiza, and the first one that came up was this German guy, he'd bought a villa and he just rented it out over the summer.
They have a massive library in it.
He's got a massive library. He has like in the gardens, like his own little art studio. So we're all kind of having wild parties in this villa in Ibiza in the hills, and he's just sat there coming up, chatting to us, like showing us his artwork. We've all got artwork on our walls that he's given us over the years.
No way.
We had our honeymoon there.
You're hanging out with the wrong crowds.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Eckhard if you on the off chance he's
I don't know
watching.
if you've ever seen this. Now this, I got this in Vegas. Check it out. I don't know if you've seen this before.
So I'm guessing it's like a stash, or is it actually like a pipe?
I've yet to christen it. I think now could be a good time. But when you talk about the UK, we talk about medical cannabis. People say, we have the NHS. We used to talk about this with people on podcasts. We're like, NHS, we're not used to paying for medication. Not like you do in any other country, right? Like in, US in particular. We're just not used to it. So, but if you think about the price of like street weed, it's comparable, right?
I mean, it depends. I pay £200 an ounce for this stuff, but some people can't get it that cheap. Some people are paying £50, £60 an eighth. So yeah, it'd be better to get it from the legal dispensaries,
Yeah. The online one, the
Dispensaru.
Dispensaru.
Yeah, Liam got.
I placed an order when it came out. I was like, right, I'll take a punt, see if this is legit or not. I mean, it's that kind of surreal sort of experience, like, and it was so easy, like it was super smooth. So literally, like any e-commerce transaction, you go online, you pick what you want. I mean, we had to transfer some money into the bank, and then 2 days later, it was on my doorstep. I was like, we could have this. It could be no problem. Like, there was nothing stopping the UK doing this and it being done properly. But other than just the usual bullshit.
And as journalists, are you trying to get hold of the guy who's running it? The mysterious S, Mr. S.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of journalistic research about, I mean, I'm not going to kind of expose their secrets because...
But you know stuff.
But the way they've done it is clever, is what I'll say. Like,
Okay.
They know what they're doing.
We'll chat off camera.
They're very prepared, but
Yeah.
they know their shit.
I have made approaches and I haven't really been that persistent, but I'm intrigued as to who
That's for sure.
oh man, totally. It's such a cool thing, and but it's all good.
The fact that the police haven't said anything about it, there's no statement from them saying, we can't let this happen. And you wouldn't be able to do that in other countries. Like if you did that in France.
No. I heard if you have they did a pilot in France on medical cannabis, and it's like if you sign up for it, you basically have to surrender your driver's license. People just like,
Where's this?
no way, in France. They did a trial a while back. I think things have changed.
No evidence whatsoever.
I don't know. It's crackers.
I
It
mean,
is
I read
crackers.
these studies all the time, and there's been no groundbreaking study that proves, it's not the same as drink driving. It's completely different.
Well, I mean, we've published news on this before, but in Canada, when they've looked at the data, where when cannabis has been legalised, there's been less road traffic accidents because people are a little bit more. I mean, obviously, you've got to think about the difference between weed and alcohol. Alcohol makes you a little bit kind of cocky. It makes you take more risks than you should. Cannabis just makes you want to say, right, actually, fuck that. It seems like too much stress. Like, I can't be arsed to drive. So the road traffic accidents go down when legalised cannabis comes into play.
Yeah, there is a certain. I don't know. I mean, again, as a medical patient, I have a couple of sort of, draws on it, and that kind of sharpens the mind just, anecdotally, sort of throughout the day. I make sure that I'm definitely not driving that day, but I feel like if I did, it wouldn't be an issue. I would probably be a bit more on it.
I mean,
but again, you can't call it, can you?
No, the whole thing is if you are a prescribed patient and you have cannabis in your system, the police then have to prove impairment beyond reasonable doubt.
Okay.
Which
They have to do an impairment test at the side of the road, and they don't know this. But yeah, of course, I wouldn't drive if I thought I couldn't drive.
But at the same time, it's like, it stays in your system for like 6 months. So you could have had it 2 seconds ago or 6 months ago, and they could still detect it, right? And it's like, there's no way of saying...
How many people are like smoking 2 days ago, getting pulled over, having a blood test, and then losing a license because they got stoned at the weekend and it's Wednesday and they're on the way to work? Like,
It's not backed by science. It's not backed by evidence. It's an unjust law. It's not like it's bullshit. It's not like
let's be straight, it's bullshit.
it's one of those laws which is designed for control only. People do need controlling, but
We can't have nice things because we can't behave ourselves for the most part. That's just society, but that's cool. But no, cool guys, thank you. Thanks for chatting.